Yo, what's going on, everybody? It is Straight Out of the Boston, and today I'm back for episode number 2 of my Toronto Maple Leafs franchise hockey manager series here. So, although I usually do live commentaries for these videos, I unfortunately was mistaken and thought I was recording the audio the whole time. Turns out I was not, so I just have an hour and a half of footage that I cut down into about 6 minutes here, so I'm going to give a little post-recording commentary and go through the trade deadline episode for season number 1 of the Maple Leafs. So you can see here, we're in the playoff position right now, 55 points. I think we're 3 points out of a playoff spot currently, and we've had a pretty good year so far. I mean, Bergier's been playing really well in net. James Reimer, not quite as well, but for a backup, I mean, can't really ask for much more than what he's given us. So, we've been getting pretty good goaltending play, pretty solid goaltending play. Gardner's had a good year. His game rating is all the way at an 82 right now. That is very, very good. That is like top pairing defenseman caliber. Morgan Riley, his game rating I think is a 78, so not quite as good, but still having a pretty good year, especially for a 21-year-old. Kadri having a solid year. Would like a little bit more out of him, but so far he's looking like a pretty solid second-line center. Bozak's actually having a nice year too. He's got 29 points in 48 games. He was playing a little bit better at the beginning of the year. Grabner, he's got only 8 points in 24 games. He did miss some time. He's got a 68 game rating, and he's only on a 1-year deal, so he's going to be someone we might look to move at this deadline. Johan Larsson is one guy I claimed off of waivers at the beginning of the year. Magnus Pajjarvi is the other, so I figured I'd update you guys on that. We simulate about 10 days forward here in February, and you can see we're starting to fall out of the playoff picture here. Now we're going to simulate forward a little bit more, and this is where things are really going to start to fall apart for us. We lose to Edmonton there. This is a West Coast swing. This would really sort of put that nail in our coffin for our season. We're going to lose to Vancouver here. Now we've got at Chicago. We lose to them 2-0, so we've lost 3 straight games. We're quickly falling behind in the playoff race, and then this was pretty much the game. We lose 9-1 to the New York Rangers. Chris Kreider scores 5 goals on us. Now Kreider is usually a beast in this game, I'm not going to lie. He always develops into a 5-star player. But still, that was pretty embarrassing to let 5 goals up. And you can see here, Frederik Andersen signs an extension. I wanted to highlight that because he could have been a target for us in the offseason to, fix our goaltending woes if he had not been re-signed by Anaheim. But either way, like I said, we've gotten pretty good goaltending play, so it's not really a top priority yet. We got a couple injuries here. Leo Komarov we're going to send to the injury list, and we're also going to send, I think, Joffrey Lupul to the injury list. He would go down for 4 weeks. I think he had a torn ligament in his foot or something like that. So here we go. We're going to not put him on waivers. We're going to put him on the injury list, and this is going to open the door to call up one of our top prospects from the Toronto Marlies. Willie Nylander will be making his Toronto Maple Leafs debut. He had a pretty solid year in the AHL, was almost a point-a-game player. So we're going to keep simulating forward here, and you can see we've lost a couple more games. We lose to Montreal, and we've fallen to 5th in the division, but 63 points, and currently the last playoff spot is, let's see, I think it's 70 points for Washington. So we're currently 7 points out of a playoff spot, and in the NHL that is very hard to overcome in just a month and a half. So I decided, because we probably already overachieved as it was, I decided to be sellers at the deadline. So I'm looking at the possible free agents here. Sean Matthias is one, and I want to open up contract negotiations with him. He was looking for almost $4 million a year. That is far too much for a guy who I think is no more than a third liner. Phaneuf is another guy I'd like to move at some point, but it's not urgent with him. He's got 6 years left on his deal. The thing with him is more to get the money off our books. James Riemsdyk is having a pretty good year. I don't want to trade him quite yet. He's got 45 points in 60 games, and he's got 3 years left on his contract, so no need to do that. The Islanders are having a pretty good year there, in 3rd place in their division with a couple games in hand. However, they've got a goaltending issue right now with Yaroslav Halak down for a little bit here with a coccyx dislocation, so they're going to obviously need a replacement for him for a little while, and their replacements had not been playing well. So I decided to give them James Reimer and a 7th round pick. We're going to pick up Matt Finn and Mark Zidlicky, I forget how it's like Zidlicky or something, I don't know. But either way, Matt Finn is a guy that I've seen play very well in this game before. He typically has a very high game rating, and he was traded by the Maple Leafs to the Islanders in the Michael Grabner deal, so I wanted to get him back. So I did, and we got him for James Reimer basically, so that was a nice pickup. And then here I was trying to work out a Dion Phaneuf to the Detroit Red Wings package, but it was just too complicated to do in season with the contracts and the salary cap, and just, we couldn't be below the cap floor, but they couldn't be above the salary cap limit, so it's like it just couldn't work out, and so I eventually gave up. But here were the guys I was targeting: Thomas Nosek, Joe Hicketts, Thomas Yurko, so a couple of different guys from the Red Wings who I thought could be players for us. But anyway, I decided to move on, so we're looking at Mike Riley here from the Minnesota Wild. He's another defenseman that I've seen play very well in this game, have a high game rating, and he had been playing very well in the AHL for Minnesota, so we're going to give up Michael Grabner and Matt Hunwick for Mike Riley and Nicholas Backstrom. Backstrom was just for salary reasons, and he'll be our new backup goaltender for the rest of the year to replace Reimer. And then one final trade: Sean Matthias, Brad Boyes, and a 7th round pick for Colby Cave and Chris Kelly. So Colby Cave is another guy. I had specifically targeted all three of the guys, the three main guys that I picked up in this video: Matt Finn, Colby Cave, and Mike Riley. Those are all guys I've seen in this game play with high game ratings, and guys that I knew I was going to target right from the get-go. And I think those are guys that are going to be pieces for us long term. So anyway, I just felt like I should explain that. Other than that, there isn't really much left to say in this video. Those were the three big trades that I made at the deadline. So we sold off a couple key pieces. I'm going to look to move Fanoof again in the offseason, try to reopen talks with the Red Wings and maybe some other teams too who could possibly have some more salary cap flexibility in the offseason than they would in the regular season. So we'll keep an eye on that. And like I said, Bernier we're holding on to for now. He'll probably be the starting goaltender next season as well. But that is going to do it. So hope you guys did enjoy. Thanks for watching, and I'm out. Peace. And also, like I said, hopefully these videos will be live commentary just like the OOTB videos from now on. I won't make the same mistake twice. Alright, peace guys.